So the 2024 Olympics is underway in Paris, France, and the world just witnessed its first ever woke opening ceremony. The opening ceremony of the Olympic Games, of course, historically has been a major part of these games, in that host countries use this opportunity to showcase the best they have in terms of art and culture. And so historically you would have people from all around the world tuned in and glued to the TV screens just to experience the spectacle live, for the most part with friends and family. However, it wasn't the case this time around, as the entire world is still in shock by the performance put up by France and the French people. For the first time in the history of the game, going more than 120 years, the opening ceremony wasn't suitable to watch by all ages. In other words, for the first time you had families and parents turning off their TV screens just because they couldn't watch with their kids, as the footages for the most part were inappropriate and not even remotely suitable for kids. While spectators from all over the world expected a glimpse and a reminder of France's historic beautiful art and culture, their expectations all hit a rock as France rather decided to take a 180-degree deviation from the traditional norms and ethics guiding this beautiful occasion, and serving a rather woke opening ceremony to the world, mired by hypersexualized footages, blood, and most disturbing, a mockery of Christianity, drawing disgust and condemnation from all around the world. While every bit of the whole thing is worthy of chastisement, I want to focus on the segment of the spectacle that outrightly mocked the Christian religion with a disrespectful misrepresentation of the Last Supper, as Christ and his apostles are played by drag queens on live television. Now, the reason why I'm choosing to focus on this particular aspect is because it's very, very revealing of where France currently stands as a country, and by extension is very, very revealing as well as to what direction Western civilization is headed. Now you've got to remind yourself that Western civilization as we know it is built on the back of Judeo-Christian values.
I'm arguing that the ethic that drives our culture is predicated on the idea of God. The proposition that underlies Western culture is that there's a transcendent morality.
That was the basic foundation of America. It was a Judeo-Christian ethic, it was a Judeo-Christian reason.
Most people in this room act out a Judeo-Christian ethic.
The history of Christianity in France goes way back to about the 2nd century and has constituted a major part in the evolution of France and its people as a country for about 2,000 years. And what that means is that you would find Christianity and Christian values at the very fabric of the French society going down history. And by that I mean their philosophy, their moral code, their law, and their everyday modus operandis have been shaped by Christian values for the better part of the last 2,000 years. Which is what makes this abhorrent display a rather disturbing one, because what this signals is a clear division and a clear dichotomization of France and its foundations, of France and its roots, of France and everything that once held that country together. And what it means is that France is ditching right before our eyes its historic Christian values and is buying into new modus operandis, which are of course distant from the Christian religion. And while France may be the focal point at this point in time, the same is true for most of Western countries, and therefore for most of Western civilization. It is the case right now that Western civilization, which like we mentioned before, is built on the foundation of Judeo-Christian values, is distancing itself from these same values and is adopting systems and ways of life and moral codes that are nothing like we've known for centuries. And the question becomes therefore, what direction is Western civilization as a whole headed as of right now? And is it any better from what we've known for centuries? This new direction, this new route on which Western civilization has embarked, where does it lead us? Where does it lead humankind? Barely a few years ago, in April of 2019, when the Cathedral of Notre Dame caught flames, you had countries from all around the world sympathizing with France and sending financial donations to help preserve the history of Christianity in this country, because the entire world understood how important and significant this medieval Catholic cathedral was to the history of France. And barely 5 years later, how does France show its recognition and its appreciation to the world? It marks the world's 2.4 billion Christians in the same city where you had the world sending donations 5 years ago to save La Cathédrale de Notre Dame. This represents a major shift in France's philosophy, a major shift in France's moral code, a major shift in France's beliefs. And we cannot but ask questions as to where this newfound philosophy of the West, this newfound moral code of the West is headed. I'll leave the rest to your imagination. Have a good one.